Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Let's thank our members: Invictus, Crazy Bull, Cots, Interceptor, Richardson, Danny Cage, and Rupert. Thank you guys, helps a lot. You have no idea how much. Thank you all my members, all my patrons, and let's get into it. Subscribe, and yeah. So today we kind of have a different subject to talk about. I really wanted to talk a little bit about it because a lot of people come to me to say that why we don't have a B-52, for example. Why we don't have a certain specific strategic bomber or a tactical bomber. Why we don't have a TUPLF Tu-95. Why we don't have a Tu-16. Why we don't have many of these aircraft. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and why we don't have big bombers and why we probably won't have anytime soon, or at least, I mean, it depends on the idea, but I have an idea that might be, that I already talked about it, but on another video, but still, I wanted to say to you guys again. So first things first, why we don't have bombers right now, these strategic Cold War bombers. So one of the main reasons is that, as you see in the game right now, if you play the BR of around 8.0, or any BR that has these bombers from the 50s, right? So the IL-28s, even the Vulturs can be a very nutritious food source for many people grinding, as you know. So yeah, Vulturs, IL-28s, Canberra's B-57s, right? Aircraft like that, they are already kind of a easy prey. That's the main reason. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about. An aircraft like that are facing 50s aircraft and sometimes early 60s, or aircraft that have AIM-9Bs or like a MiG-19, for example, or stuff like that. For example, the Vultur will fight against these aircraft sometimes, but even the IL-28s, they can face aircraft like the Panthers that have the F-9 F-8, right? That has the A9s and stuff like that. It is already kind of an aircraft that it's dead in the water. Of course, it can defend itself. For example, the IL-28 has an amazing 23mm. We can see that the B-57s, they have a very good performance on its BR to actually climb and fly away, right? The Vulturs as well, they have a very good performance. They have cannons and they can do, even depending on the aircraft, they can do kind of boom zoom tactics and even some basic flight maneuvers that can help you evade a target, or not a target, but somebody that is actually attacking you. But the thing is, even with those aircraft, they are already on the limit of being kind of useless. They are on the limit of being dead in the water very, very soon. The Yak-28 is one of those aircraft that it's kind of a stretch that what we normally have in the game. It's an aircraft that is very, very fast, but it has its problems as well. It has flares and it has two MiG-21's engines, so it can be very, very fast, and it can deal with some targets because it can fly away from them. Being a 9.3 aircraft and having two MiG-21 engines, of course, makes you very, very fast and very, very untouchable sometimes, right? It's an aircraft that nobody can touch it on the BR that he has right now. But the thing is, if we go a little bit further, all aircraft will be touchable and all aircraft will be dead very, very, very quickly into a match. So, for example, the normal common theme of talking about this is the 50s bombers of the US. So, for example, even the B-52, right? But we have some others. For example, let me remember the names of these things because there's so many of them. But for example, the Hustler, which is the B-58, it's one of those that can actually try to run away from you. But the other ones, they're going to be kind of dead in the water. So the B-47 Stratojet, the B-66 Destroyer, even the B-57 they already have. So these bombers will have problems dealing with targets, okay? They're big. They're normally slow. I mean, the Hustler is a very fast aircraft, but still, it's an aircraft that kind of doesn't have anything beyond just trying to run. And even with that, the Hustler, it's a 1960 bomber. It's a little bit more modern than some of the others that I told you guys about. But even any strategic bomber from 1950s onwards, they will ended up having a lot of troubles dealing with missiles. Okay, and that will be the main thing. Because think about, normally they will be very slow, or they will be at least very big, but normally they will be slow and big, and they will not turn, they are not agile. A B-52 cannot just evade a missile. It will never even evade a AIM-9B from like 4 kilometers. It doesn't have the energy to it. It is subsonic. It is problematic to be added. The other problem is that it is going to be way too strong, maybe. We need more targets, or we need more bombing targets or stuff like that, missions that these aircraft can do to actually be able to actually do something. Because that's the thing. If they are added, for example, the B-52, if it's added in a 10.0 BR, for example, it will get destroyed by the Mach 2 fighters and missiles and other stuff that are happening. Obviously, the B-52 can carry a lot of flares, and it has even ECMs, so maybe that's the only way for them to be added, if they have very good ECM and very good countermeasures. Still, it will be very easy to destroy them with the cannon, right? Of course, most of these bombers, they can have a rear gunner. The B-52 even has a rear gunner. The Tupolev 95 as well, it can have a rear gunner back in the day. So they even got one MiG-21, I think, shot down over Vietnam with a tail gunner of a B-52. So it can kill something with that, right? But still, it's going to be way too easy to destroy a target such as this. And it's going to be way too slow to actually avoid any missiles, even if it has as I said, the ECM and very good countermeasures, very large amount of flares and stuff like that, which you had in real life. It will still be easy to get to them and destroy them with the cannon, right? So yeah, that's the main problem, performance. The aircraft will be dead in the water very, very quickly, very easy. The other problem that we see is obviously as I said, the amount of bombs that they carry and stuff like that. So we needed a mode for them to actually be effective and not to be OP, because if they are added in a lower BR, because they're not going to be able to be alive in a higher BR. So if they are added in a 9.0 or 8.7 or something like that, they will be destroying everything if they get to the target quick enough, because we already have a lot of fast bombers. We have the Su-7s, for example, or aircraft like that are faster than a B-52, you know. So we kind of have a pickle there. We kind of have an aircraft that kind of doesn't have a place in the game in the sense of objective, and we kind of have an aircraft that will be easy to shoot down. So why we are ever going to have that? Kind of doesn't make sense, right? The only actual way for them to be added, in my opinion, is in a specific mode similar to what we have in the World War mode. So in the World War mode, or even in EC combat, maybe if you get some points, or maybe in a specific event. So for example, we have Battle of El Alamein right now, but imagine if we have an Operation Line Breaker or something like that, Vietnam War. Then on a specific commander there, he wants to send B-52s to attack some airfield or something on North Vietnam, for example, in World War mode, right? Then you can get into a B-52, or you can get into an F-4 to protect the B-52, or you can get into a MiG-21 to actually destroy it. So maybe there it has an objective. It will make people actually play World War mode more. It will be realistic, and all the points that you get in an aircraft such as that, you can actually research aircraft that you want in the normal tech tree for normal battles. So it would be similar to what we have, kind of similar, not really, but similar on what we have for the nuclear bombers, or even if you played that, I think it's Ace Combat 7, I think? Don't remember which Ace Combat, but the PS3 one of the PS3 ones, that the Assault Horizon Ace Combat, the one that nobody likes, right? That Ace Combat in the multiplayer, for example, if you killed some people, you could respawn on a B-52 or a B-2, and I think it's a B-2 or a B-1, I don't remember. It's those large bombers, right? And then you can just destroy the targets on the ground and win the match, right? It would be similar to that, but with a proper objective, a realistic objective. You would get into a World War mode and be able to fly that aircraft only in that mode. But it has an objective, a realistic objective there. And if it's that, you can respawn on it again, and you don't pay too much of a repair cost and etc. So it would be usable and it would be fun, to be honest. Another way that they can actually add some of this stuff, but that's the thing. If they add the faster ones, we can have some of them. So yeah, like the tactical one. So the Tu-16 is one, for example, the Badger, right? The Hustler even. It's a fast aircraft. So yeah, might be able to be in game because they are really fast. They can fly low or high, and they can do some other stuff, right? But to be honest, I think the only type of bomber that we are going to see in the future of War Thunder is the interdictor bombers. So yeah, technically the B-1 Lancer and the Tu-160 can be considered an interdictor bomber as well, but normally the interdictors will be aircraft such as the F-111, the Tornado, the Su-24, aircraft such as this, even a Mirage 2000D, you know, or the N, right? So yeah, aircraft such as these that can actually evade missiles, that can actually have air-to-air missiles, that can actually be able to defend itself and attack other aircraft basically. So that's why I think most of the time in the future we will see more of the interdictor type of bombers than the strategics or tactical bombers. But this idea of having World War mode with these bombers as an kind of an asset that you can use only in those modes, I think that would be the best of the both worlds, right? You wouldn't add an aircraft such as this for you to research, and you wouldn't have to pay that much price and stuff, but people that really want to play this aircraft will be able to play it, and it will still be fun to fly them around, and it will still be fun. I just think that it is not ever going to be added on the tech tree, the normal tech tree. So yeah. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about these ideas, if you think that the strategic bombers, such as the B-52 for example, are ever going to be added. If you think that they should be added in a sense of a mode, a special mode, maybe for only EC, maybe for only World War mode or something like that. Maybe never. I doubt that anybody would say never, but still. And if you agree with me that, leave it in the comments if you agree with me that probably the interdictors, low altitude bombers will be the ones that will be added in the future. So yeah, this is kind of confirmed, right? A Tornado will come eventually, an F-111 and a Su-24 as well. They will come. So the interdictors are probably going to come anyway. But these strategic bombers and tacticals, I don't think they will ever be added. Hopefully they are added as an event for them, for those who want to actually play those aircraft. And I would have a lot of fun with them as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments everything that I said, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye guys, see ya, subscribe.